What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Now, before we get into what we're doing today, I just want to say, with all this coronavirus stuff going on, guys, I really hope that you guys are doing the best that you can to keep from getting that cabin fever. I know it's kind of tough trying to quarantine yourself to your house or whatever, but keep in mind, guys, we can go outside. You don't have to lock yourselves away like you live in a dungeon or something. Now, if you didn't see the last video, we did some work to the Sonoma there. You see my carpet right here for the Sonoma is sitting here still drying out because we cleaned it up real good. See, I got all of my electronics from the dash and stuff sitting up here off the floor. All of our other parts are over here, pretty much ready to start doing a paint job on those. But today, we're not going to focus on the Sonoma. Today we're going to get back into a little content with the SS. So for those of you that have been following the channel for a little while, you know that a couple months ago I did a vinyl wrap job on the dash of the interior of the SS, and today we're just going to kind of go over how well that's been holding up, and probably going to have to redo it. Let's go ahead and jump in the truck here, show you guys what I'm talking about. We wrapped these right here, and they're doing pretty good. Everything there seems to be holding up real well on the driver door and the passenger door over there. The SS's right here are doing pretty good as well, but what's really not doing good is this whole dash trim piece that goes around the stereo and all around the gauges and way over here. So probably just rookie air. You can see that it's wrinkling up pretty bad and starting to pull away from the edges where I wrapped it, especially in all these little spots here. It just doesn't seem to have stuck very well on the backside, and you can just tell it's just doing it everywhere. So we're probably going to go ahead and remove it, take it off. The vents themselves are still holding up really well, but we're going to redo all of it. And you know, like I said, it's really just the fact that I'm a beginner at this, not very much experience, but other than that, the product holds up really well. So I'm not trying to talk bad about Vivid Vinyl here or anything, because it's an awesome product. I love it. I just wish I had a lot more experience at it so I wouldn't have to redo it. So the plan here is to remove all these pieces, and we're probably going to color match them to the color of the truck, and hopefully it turns out really well. I don't have any concerns with it turning out ugly. I think we'll be able to do a pretty good job. Let's go ahead and start pulling these trim pieces back off the truck, and we'll get this vinyl tore off of them and get them prepped for paint. So for those of you that are not familiar with how to take the dash piece off of these Chevys, basically you're gonna turn the key on, push the brake in, drop the shifter all the way down to first, and then that'll make sure your steering wheel is all the way down too, and then that will allow you, let's turn that down. After you do that, that will allow you to be able to pop this off. You just start pulling it off really easily. It pops out of there, and then once you get it loose, just work it up over the steering wheel like that, and you're good. Put it back in gear, turn the key off. That's it for that. And over here, for these vent pieces, you just have to grab the vent, pop it straight out like that, and then this thing does the same thing. You just have to, there's a few little tabs in there you got to get after, and then it'll pop out of there. So I'm gonna go grab a little screwdriver, and then we'll be able to pop these right out. Alright, that side is out. Now this one, usually if you pry one and pull up on it, the bottom one will come out as well. And there you go. It comes out just like that. You can see these little push tabs that you gotta get in there with the screwdriver like this, inside there like that, and you pry them out, and then you can just pull it right out of there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that one over there taken out. Then we'll get these trim pieces taken off of the door handles here. And after that, we can strip the vinyl off of them and start prepping them. These things are real simple as well, guys. All you gotta do is just get your finger in there and pull on it, and it pops right out. And then you have to pull on the handle to be able to have enough play in it to spin it around and get it off there. It's kind of a little bit of a pain to do with one hand, but not that bad. But now that we got them all taken off, let's go ahead and get the vinyl removed off of them. Now we got our parts set up. Went ahead and moved my carpet off of these stands back out into the sunlight because that's where it needs to be to fully dry anyway. So now we got our paint stands freed up. Well, they're really TV stands, but we don't use them for that, so I made them my paint stands. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a piece of cardboard that I have to cover that stuff up there, but you can see over here I already covered up all my other parts so we don't get any overspray on them. Now we got that stuff covered up from the overspray, which means that now we're good to go ahead, start ripping the vinyl off of these parts. I don't know if I should heat it up before I tear it off, just to keep it from trying to peel the paint off of the actual trim pieces themselves. But for me that really doesn't matter much because I'm painting them anyways. They're going to be color matched the same color as the truck. So let's go ahead and just start ripping this vinyl off of these trim pieces. Now that we've got all of our vinyl torn off of our pieces here, I just want to show you guys, like I was talking about, if you're not careful and heat this stuff up to peel it back off, you can probably, then this is probably going to happen. That is the paint off of my dash stuck to the back of the vinyl wrap. You can see right there where it, there we go. You can see right here where it took it all off. But like I said in the beginning of this, I'm okay with that, because I'm repainting all of these parts to match the color of the truck. But if you're not going to repaint your parts, then I would strongly consider the fact that the vinyl wrap may ruin the paint job on the dash of your vehicle if you decide to vinyl wrap it like I did. Now I'm going to go ahead, give me some probably some 600 grit sandpaper, just sand these parts up really good, wax and grease remove them, that way the paint will adhere to them really well. And I also kind of want to get rid of some of the textured look on these panels before they get painted. Now, I'm just going to take our wet sandpaper and start wet sanding all these parts. This is part of the process that you really do not want to get in a rush on. You want to take your time, make sure everything's sanded real well. You can start to see here that when you're sanding it, a lot of that factory paint is going to come off of that plastic, which is probably a good thing. We want to probably just sand it to where we get all that off. Make sure you keep your sandpaper and your parts nice and wet. That way you're not gouging it too bad, because it is plastic. Honestly, judging by how long it's going to take for this 600 grit to get this panel down to no gray and just straight black, I'm probably going to switch over to some 400 grit for the first round, and then we'll go back to the 600 to smoothen it out. Alright, now we're just going to clean everything up really good with some soapy water. That way we can just wipe it all down with some wax or grease remover before we paint. So just make sure we scrub all this dirt off of here, get it all cleaned up real nice. That way we don't have to come back and clean it up again later. Just want to wipe it down really good, guys. Now that we've got everything wiped down, we'll just let it dry, and then we can wax and grease remove it. Now we're gonna get everything wiped down with our prep spray, grease and wax remover. You can see here, I just took some plastic and stuffed it down in the holes just to keep the paint from building up on our clips that are inside there, and this little blower switch thing, because we don't want paint getting built up on those on the inside, and then it would be non-functional after the paint sets up. So that should be good there. None of these other parts need to be taped off because we just want the paint to flow right through those holes. Now the most important part of this step is that you want to have a pair of gloves on, because the oil off of your hands getting on your parts will cause your paint to not want to stick. So make sure you got some gloves on. Let's get this stuff wax and grease removed. Now I'm sure you guys will read the directions before using this stuff, but you want to make sure you're in a well ventilated area. You see I got the garage door open because this stuff is really strong, has a really strong odor. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and apply our plastic adhesion promoter. Before we do this, you're going to want to make sure that you put your respirator on. Just the same as before. Even though that garage door is open, you do not want to be inhaling these fumes. So I'm going to grab mine and put it on before we get started. We're going to apply 3 light coats of this, and then we can put our base coat right over the top of that. What we want to do here is wait 10 minutes between each coat. The same thing with the base coat. 10 minutes after the 3rd coat of this, and we can start putting our base coat on. Alright guys, so I just put my last coat on, and as you can see, the spray paint was coming out of the can pretty rough. I'm going to have to let it cure out overnight so that I can wet sand it all smooth, and then we can put our clear coat on tomorrow. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the morning. So it is the next morning here guys, and now that our paint is all nice and cured, we're going to go ahead and wet sand. That way we can get our clear coat going. So as you just seen, we got everything wet sanded, and we did manage to burn through some of the paint on this main piece right here. So we went ahead, hit it with a couple more coats of color. Then after that, we got the clear coat on it. And now it's all actually been sitting here for a little while drying, and it's all set up real good, ready to put it back on the truck. And I mean, I think it looks pretty good. It's obviously not as good of a finish as actual automotive paint, but I'm okay with it because it's the interior of the truck and it's not going to be near as noticeable as it would on the outside of the truck where the sun hits. And just like that guys, we got the trim pieces back in the truck, and man does it look so good. I really like it a lot better than that carbon fiber vinyl wrap, honestly. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It looks so good guys. Now I don't think I want to stop there. I think I want to do more. I feel like there's not enough of it now that it's in the truck. So I'm wondering if maybe I should do the center console here, like leave the black here and the black on the cup holder part, but the rest of this gray outside, I'm thinking I want to paint that, and maybe even this. I've seen a lot of guys also paint this grab bar right here, but I know that that's kind of a pain in the butt to get out of there, but we might do it. One thing I am for sure of is I'm probably going to take these off and paint those, and I doubt I'll do anything in the back. It's not really all that necessary. So that's probably going to wrap things up for this video guys. If you enjoyed today's content, smash that like button, leave your comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you haven't already, and just like that, we'll catch you guys in the next one.